In January, I will be updating you on the removal process as it pertains to the board. But as I get more information, you will be updated at that point. But the removal process from committees has already begun to allow chairs to do the work of the community. And so we can actually reach quorum. There ends my update.
All right, thank you very much, First Vice Chair. Next, we have Commerce. No report. Education, I know something was submitted for education. Am I correct? Was that sent out to the, yeah? Yeah, she did. I did see it. Go ahead. Yeah. Gail.
I'm not going to give a long report. I just want to mention two things. We're still looking for a space to have the spelling bee. So if there's any schools or you have an event space that can fit about 100 people or so, please reach out to Ms. Frazier or myself around that. And also, Detective Barry is doing a code drive. If you have any used or new codes, adults, kids, you can get in contact with me or Ms. Frazier so that we can get that stuff to her, or any toys. If you are an organization that gives away toys or know anyone who has toys to give to kids, please, we want to aid her in this event that she's going to be having this Saturday to provide some more stuff. And this is for the asylum seekers. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And this, what's the location for this Saturday?
I'll tell you later.
Right. Okay, so that's Officer Barry from, used to be with the 6-7 precinct, is now with 1 Police Plaza. Detective Barry, actually, not Officer Barry. Education, new housing. No report. We'll just wave your hand, Ms. Fields, if you have a housing question. She's in the back. Land use, Mr. Frey. Chair Frey. I think because of this, yeah, you have to enter the lectern. Those people who are speaking, you need to come up to the lectern to speak to the.
Excellent. Happy holidays, everybody. Our next land use meeting is on January 5th at 7 o'clock. 7:30 is usually the start time, and we're going to be having a presentation in opposition to the storage facility on 5381 Kings Highway. So if you're interested in being a part of that conversation on the opposite end, please join us. And that's it. No report.
Parks and beautification. Public safety, Ms. Welch is not here. Sanitation, Dr. Renaud, no report, thank you. Social services, I think she submitted a report as well. All right, we'll double check, I think she did. Transportation, followed by personnel.
Hello, good evening, everyone. Happy holidays. Hope everyone's enjoying themselves. I'll try to be brief, but there's a few important things I need to discuss. Like Chair Daley said, there was a meeting with the DOT, Brooklyn Borough Commissioner, Councilmember Lewis, the district manager, the chair, and myself concerning the bike expansion program last week, Tuesday. I'm happy to say I believe we have reached a mutual terms with the DOT on the bike lane expansion program. They said they're able to move forward with our full input and regards for the community. So there's going to be a process that moves in phases. CB 17 is a tier 1 investment area. Priority is supposed to be given to our community with infrastructure improvement. It's a 5-year plan with a budget of $900 million. The bike network took a step back because of the location proposed, and we didn't want them here. So now they've kind of reworked everything. They have proposed new locations, and the next step is for us to basically see which ones that they propose that work for us now and move forward with those, beginning implementation 2023. and then for us to give input about where we want them, and then we'll have discussions and they'll do studies and see which places are best. The chairperson and Councilmember Lewis made suggestions for suitable locations and gave their feedback about the ones they propose in areas that don't work, such as along New York Avenue and Brooklyn Avenue, and suggested putting along corridors with bus routes such as Nostrand and Utica Avenue. Also, there's the car share program. We haven't had any more in-depth conversation about that yet, but there is a virtual meeting set up to figure out how we're going to move forward or how we're going to stop this, because we did send out the letter that was signed by the chair and myself. All the elected officials were CC'd on it. And I do know that Councilmember Joseph has had a meeting with the DOT about it, so we're still waiting for an update. At our meeting we had last Tuesday, we discussed the transportation forum. There's a set date for Tuesday, January 31st. We discussed some agencies and programs we wanted to be there, such as precinct, obviously, DOT, Uber for seniors, HRA Fair Fares, Vital Brooklyn, just to name a few. And we also had a presentation from the Utica Avenue Co-Naming Committee. They want to rename Utica Avenue from Avenue H to Eastern Parkway, Guyana Avenue. They're going to be here tonight presenting as well because we did not have quorum. So they will present Mr. Richmond and Mr. Arjun. And that is the end of my report. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chair Quamina. Personnel is not here yet. All right, Chair Graham? No, she's not here yet. Block Association, she's not here. Postal? Communications?
I yield the floor.
Bylaws?
Good evening. In order to improve the efficiency of the board, the chairperson, Daley, put together a bylaws committee, and we spent a couple hours this month going through the bylaws, and we've made some recommendations. Has everybody seen the recommendations, all the members? There's a copy at the back if you haven't seen it. The current bylaws requires that we present it to you twice. So it's been presented to you tonight. If you don't have a copy, please be sure to get it. The first recommendation is to delete the current board member attendance requirement and to replace it by saying in-person attendance at regular and special board meetings is required. Upon a board member missing 4 meetings of the board, whether consecutive or not, steps shall be taken by the first vice chair within 2 weeks of the member's 4th absence to terminate board membership for cause by first providing written notice to the board member. Upon notification within 2 weeks, the member may submit a written appeal to the chairperson to be deliberated and voted upon at the next scheduled executive committee meeting. Are there any questions on this, or I recognize, yes.
Mr. Tate? Come up, Mr. Tate, come up.
Sorry, my first public meetings after COVID. Yes, my question is regarding the removal of the board member. It states that at the end that it will be voted on at the executive board meeting. But and I'm all for attendance because I agree it's been a problem. But what's happened is that according to the city charter, the whole board is supposed to be vote and any removal from the board office. And the executive board, and according to that, it says at the executive board meeting.
Okay, what it says is steps shall be taken. So whatever the city charter provides, whatever guidance is given by the borough president's office will be followed. But while that process has been started, a board member can submit a written appeal to the chair for reconsideration, which will be done by the executive committee.
But then the vote for complete removal will be
Whatever-
the whole board. The
what-
vote for removal will be done at the whole, by the whole board.
Absolutely, yes, okay.
Thank you for the
Okay,
clarification.
great, okay. And the second issue is that in the interest of,
Ms. Fields, step down, step down.
sorry,
In case we missed your question, you have a question, please raise your hand or just step down and we'll acknowledge. Go ahead, Ms. Fields.
Yeah, I
Chair
have a
Fields?
question about the attendance, being required for the special board meetings. I believe when people apply to be on the, board, they look at what is required as far as the meeting commitments, and they're shown ahead of time, but it said nothing about, the special meetings. So to hold those against the person who's being absent doesn't seem fair, because a person commits to the regular meetings that we have, but when you have special meetings, sometimes y'all choose days that we may be unavailable because we have other commitments. We committed to the board on the day that was put on the website, and not, the special meetings aren't put on the website. So I don't know if that's going to be fair to hold those particular meetings against the person who can't make it, because they have other commitments in life as well. So when you put the attendance required, it should only be for the regular meetings that's posted and that calendar that they give to us when you're applying, because that's what the person is looking at when they decide to participate on the board.
your comments will be taken into consideration. Thank you.
There's a question online. I'm sorry, did you answer? Ms. Chair, James, did you answer Ms. Chairfield's question?
It will be discussed. We're taking comments right now. We're not making a decision. This is going to come back to the board to be voted on next month. So it doesn't mean we're here to solicit comments from you, so we can go back again and revisit them and see if any adjustments need to be made. It doesn't mean that what is here is necessarily going to be the final text. They will take, your comments will be considered at the next bylaws committee meeting.
Is there a question online? I'm sorry, say that again. Ms. Stevenson?
Hi, good afternoon, Chair Daly. Good night, sorry.
We can't hear you properly.
I'm sorry. Boy, I wonder why. Are you hearing me any better?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, I'm in transit. Sorry about that. But I just wanted to comment on the last speaker. I just wanted to weigh in on that. As part of the responsibility, which new participants on the board, new board members, sorry, part of their responsibility is to be available for the board meeting as well as at least one committee meeting. So I just wanted to put that on the table.
Thank you very much for the clarification.
Okay,
So
thank
I would have thought that going forward, the Borough President's office would have made it very clear to board members what their responsibilities are. So thank you. The second point, second amendment to the bylaws is for elections. What happens very often is that since we have elections annually, we are always going back to ground zero on projects because they never get completed timely. We have changes of chairs at committee levels as well as also the chair and other officers, and we have not been able to make as much progress. And so the bylaws committee proposes that every officer shall serve for 2 consecutive fiscal years with a term beginning on July 1st and terminating on June 30th of the second consecutive fiscal year. Any comments?
Please just take a seat right there, Chair, please.
Okay. How you gonna do that when, a lot of us are cycled out? So the person who may be like him, or Mr. Cunningham, he could be due to be removed in the year 2023, but still, be eligible to serve 2 terms. So what if he's removed because he's not reappointed? How does that work?
That's a very good observation. It's something we're going to have to work around because ultimately, for the efficiency of the board, so he may be actually reappointed. There's no guarantee he's going to be taken off. So in cases where an officer is not reappointed or choose not to reapply, then we'd have to have an election midterm to deal with that vacancy. But thank you for that observation. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Are there other questions for the bylaws chair? Anything online?
Please feel free. We want this to be a collaborative effort. So please feel free to contact the board to ask for my cell phone number, for my email address. Any comments, any observations you have, please share them. We also will be looking at the committees, the committee requirements. So anything that you think is pertinent to the board's operation, please feel free to reach out to the bylaws and share it. We want your input. We are asking for your input, please. Thank you.
My only comment on that is please do not reach out to me. Reach out to the chair of the bylaws committee. If you need the information, I'll give it to you. Why? Because I'm the chair of the board and I want to make sure that people understand that they're doing their thing for them. Thank you, Madam Chair. Are there any other, is that a hand, Madam Chair? No? Okay.
I have a question. This is Marguerite.
Yes,
Am I allowed to ask a question?
Go ahead, I see. Go ahead, Ms. Brigante.
Yes, I'd like to know when the bylaws committee was formed, because is this formed at the discretion of the chair? Or is it open? Because I was on the bylaws committee in the last go round, and I was not informed that the bylaws committee was reforming. So I just want to know how that happened without the board being aware of it.
All right, so I'll answer that one. I'll take that question. Over multiple meetings, I've made the announcement that we're doing the bylaws committee. If you are interested in being part of the bylaws committee, please let me know. And several people, everybody who's on the bylaws committee volunteered to be on the bylaws committee. All right.
But if you're already on it, it doesn't matter that you just automatically, I just assumed that I was on it. I'm sorry. Because I was already on it. So I didn't think I had to. I'm sorry. It's my fault.
Right, so I mean, you could always reach out to Chair James to follow up on that. Is this related to the bylaws report?
My name is Chairperson.
Wait, before you even identify yourself, is it related to any of the committee's report?
There's a bylaw committee, correct?
Yes.
That's being formed? If
Not formed. No, has already been formed.
It's already been formed?
And it can only be board members.
Is there a way to observe or to receive a?
You could speak to Chair James on the side about observation about that. That's fine.
Okay, and I have a nonprofit within the area, and I also just wanted to ask if I wanted assistance in regards to projects, when would I present my question?
So I can follow up with that question, but this is not the right time for that. When you have community question, you can get back to, just write it down and we'll get back to it.
Thank you.
All right, not a problem. I'm sorry. Any other questions for the bylaws committee? Okay. Ms. Reed, do you have any comments? Chair Reed, Cab, I did see her. Yep. And then rezoning, followed by personnel.
Good night, everyone. I'm Janice Reed, and I currently represent the board on the Brookdale CAB. And just to bring to the community's attention, you might have heard this in the news. that One Brooklyn Health, which comprises the three hospitals, Interfaith, Kingsbrook, and Brookdale, there had a cyber security incident that occurred back, I believe, in November 19th, and there was a major network disruption within the system. It was actually reported to the agencies, including New York State. They're actually investigating. And as a result, the hospital had to go back to paper. Back in the days, we used to document on paper. Now there's no computer systems available, so all the documentation is back to the paper. They're actually working to reestablish the systems. They just want to reassure the community that patient care has not been negatively affected by the incident, and there's been ongoing investigations regarding the disruption and how to get their systems back up and working. Thank you.
Oh, wait, there's a question on the chat, Chair James. Not you. Are there any questions for Chair Reed? Okay. There was a question, the same issue. I have the same issue. Special meetings need to be clarified because the date could be random. All right, so the answer to that question is that generally special meetings or emergency, you have a 7-day notice for a special meeting, and it only addresses the things that are on the agenda. So it's not a full board meeting in terms of like the public, the this, the that. It's a special meeting relating to an issue. I guess I can answer that. And then this question, Carlene, technical issues result in the members. One person wrote, technical issues resulting in the members' inability to join a meeting should not be held against that member attempting to join the meeting.
Technical difficulties?
Technical issues.
We're supposed to be in person.
I'm sorry?
We're supposed to be in person.
We're supposed to be in person. So technical issues should not be the issue. It should be relevant because meetings are in person.
Okay.
I think that's the answer you're given, right?
Pardon me?
Technical issues should not be a concern because board meetings of the masses are in public,
Okay.
in person, not in public.
But thank you for raising the special meeting issue. We will take it under serious reconsideration to see whether or not we need to adjust it. So it was not, your comments are not in vain, I can assure you. It doesn't mean it may change, but we will certainly and thoroughly go through it and try to see what's the best remedy, if there is a better remedy for it. My name is Jael James. I'm the rezoning chair. I just want to assure this board that in January, the rezoning committee is going to be making a concerted effort to move forward with rezoning. We will not have a meeting this month. We had a walkthrough to look at the community. I'm just going to encourage you, look at various blocks and see what you think can be done to the blocks. Do you think they need to be upzoned? They could be upzoned, downzoned, but we want comments from you. So we solicit your help in this process. It's not just a rezoning committee. We want your help. Any input that you have, please feel free to reach out to me. My number is 718-346-3600, 718-346-3600. We need to rezone this community as soon as possible. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ms. Vianti, I see your hand is up. Is that from before or current?
I'm sorry, I took it down.
Okay, thank you. Moving forward, Personnel Committee.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Rose Graham, Chair of the Personnel Committee, and my report. There will be a special meeting to conduct the final round of interviews for the position of Assistant District Manager, and a notification will be sent out to the board members. In addition, there is no need for a search for a temp for the office, as one of the office personnel is scheduled to return to work tomorrow. And that ends my report.
Thank you. That ends the committee report. Agents report. Detective Celebro. I'm sorry, Detective. Whoa. I lowered your rank by a lot. Inspector Celebro, you're up.
All right. Good evening, everyone. I don't know if you can hear me. I'm on the WebEx. I hope you can hear me. I'm sorry I couldn't be with you in person tonight. In the room, I do have some of my personnel. In case you have any specific questions, please see them after. And they'll stay there for the duration. But really, I'll keep it short. Mr. Chairperson, thank you so much. On behalf of the officers here at the 6-7 precinct, I want to wish you, the board, and everyone in this community and everyone in the room tonight a happy holiday, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa. Whatever it is that you celebrate, we ask that you please do it safely, do it joyfully. Know that the officers at the 6-7 is working day and night for you, right? That's what we did in 2022. We had a lot of success. We are down in shootings and violence by 21%. We are up in crime, overall crime, about 17%. That looks like we're going to finish out 2022. But going into 2023, know that we are going to be working extremely hard to try to push those numbers down. And with each of those numbers are victim, right? And that's what we are here for, is to speak up for the victim, to represent our victims. So just know that. With that, I'll keep it short. If you have any questions for me, obviously, you can ask right now. Or if time does not allow, you can absolutely speak to one of my staff members that is in the audience with you. I do have my NCO sergeant, my special operations lieutenant, as well as my community affairs officers there in the room with you. With that, I want to wish you a happy holidays once more. Thank you.
Are there any questions for the inspector? I do have one that the inspector can answer. I have two. So the inspector can answer, or one of you guys can answer. Okay. So two things came to me in a meeting. One of them is 1096. I'm giving the address. So 1096 Rutland Road is the address. The business owner has complained that outside of their business, there are people who are dealing. Right, so they set up camp outside and they're dealing whatever it is that they're dealing. They're concerned that it's also affecting the people coming into their establishment because they feel a certain level of unsafety. Has there been anything been done? Will there be something done? If so, what is that, and how would we know that something get done? That's the first question.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'll answer that. I did have an opportunity to meet those individuals at my last community council meeting, which was last week. We are working with them and completely understand the frustration that they have. Some of the complaints was smoking marijuana out in the street. That obviously we're probably not going to be able to do much about, because if you're over 21, you have to do that. In terms of selling, obviously that's something else. We will be addressing that. We have exchanged numbers. I have one of my lieutenant in direct contact with them. I do intend to follow up with them to help them find some solution, but completely understand the frustration that they're dealing with. And we have to kind of balance that with the atmosphere that we're in, and some of the laws that we have to make sure that we do it properly and we do it safely. So we are in communication with that location.
Okay, thank you. But if we can get some update, that would be great. The second question is that the Lotus Lounge, that's I believe that's Schenectady or East 48 and Farragut, that has come. They are operating illegally, and basically is a nuisance to the residents, the local residents there. What, if anything, had been done, will be done regarding that premises as well? A couple months ago, the conversation said that they had a legal liquor license, but after further research, it turns out that they do not have a legal liquor license, but they are in operations. So that's the second question. Well, yeah, Mike.
I don't know if you can hear me. You broke up at the last maybe about 10 seconds or so. But I think the question was in regards to Lotus Lamp. That is one of the locations we have on our radar. We've done multiple inspection at that location. Hello?
Yes, we're listening. Your sergeant was going to answer for you.
Mr. Chair?
We can hear you.
Can you hear me, Mr. Chair?
Yes.
Okay. Yep, I apologize. Yep. So even going back over the summer, we've been dealing with that location, that particular location. We've been in that location. We've done multiple inspection at that location. We've taken some action. We've given out summonses at that location. There is a back to that location where they throw, I guess car enthusiasts go in there to have parties as well. We do completely share the frustration of some of the cars. I do have a team that goes out that really just kind of check on locations such as Lotus. So I will be working. I'll get in touch with you probably afterwards to kind of go over some of the particulars with the liquor license or non-liquor license for that matter. But we've been in there. We've taken enforcement at that location. We've done it throughout the summer. And that is something that we continue to do throughout. So, that enforcement, what it looks like, if we go in there, they're warehousing liquor, we take those liquors. If we make any observations that where we are able to make arrests, then that's what we do. A lot of the times you can't make that personal observation, so it's very difficult. But if they have liquors, we would remove those liquors from inside of the premise.
A couple more questions. I do know that you have to go, so if you want one of your officers in here to answer it, it's fine. They could do that as well. Secretary Thomas, you had a question?
So my question was, I'm wondering if there's been a change in how the police department handles orders of protection. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, so the situation is there's a 72-year-old victim of domestic abuse who had to flee her home. The order of protection was violated twice. Twice she went to the precinct. Twice there was no arrest made. I'm curious, the first time the detective came out, listened to the recordings, declined to make the arrest. The second time, nothing has happened. Has something changed in how you're enforcing orders of protection? I don't understand why there's been no action taken. I mean, this is the kind of stuff, this is the reason why a lot of victims don't bother coming forward. What's the point?
Well, if you don't mind, I kind of respectfully disagree. We do have a lot of victims that do come forward. A frustration in terms of how a case is handled, that I'm going to have to take a look at in this particular one here. So I do invite you to please give that particular information. I don't want you to repeat it on the air to one of my officers that's in there. And I want one of my officers to text that to me immediately. And then I'll follow up with you. Provide with them your phone number as well, right? We're not going to be diverging any type of particular information to you if you're not related to those to that individual. But I'll let you know exactly how it is. But to answer your question, the process does not change, right? If someone violates the order of protection, now the complaint is made, and then it goes up to our detective squad. Our detectives then do the investigation. A lot of the times there's some technicalities, right? A person may think of order of violation was the order of protection was violated. Maybe it was not, right? But in your particular case, I would have to take a look at that individual case to see exactly where we are with it. If someone does violate the order of protection, and we find that happens, an arrest warrant is put out for that particular individual. Sometimes the arrest is made immediately. Sometimes the arrest is not made immediately, right? It depends on the circumstances. But to answer your question, the process does not change. If someone does violate an order of protection and we find that to be viable, then the arrest will be made. But do give that information over to one of my officers in that room, along with your phone number and your name for me, please. Thank you.
All right, thank you. There are 2 questions in the chat. One from Ms. Viante. Member Viante, go ahead. Ms. Marguerite?
Hello?
Yes, go
Can
ahead.
you hear me? Okay. I'd like to ask the inspector a little more about Lotus Lounge. You've made arrests there, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's my understanding from the SLA that if you've made at least 3 arrests, you can file to have, you have a nuisance abatement and then you file a petition to close the venue. So is that something that you're going to be doing?
That is up there. I mean, and I do understand, some of the questions, but our process in terms of the investigation, that is an option for us. Absolutely. I'll answer it that way.
Yes, well, can you take that option? Because they're acting illegally. They're open every weekend, 3 nights, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, every weekend, and they're doing something illegal. So what is the recourse if you're not going to do something like that? Then what does that tell the rest of the community, that they can just do whatever they want? So I'm just really imploring you to take that step.
Yeah, so to answer that question, that step is not automatic, right? To make those arrests, there's a lot of complications in those arrests, right? Which some of those I'm not going to be diverging over the internet because I don't know who's listening or who's not listening, right? In terms of strategies. But it's not like we walk into Lotus Lounge and just automatically just make an arrest. We have to establish probable cause, right? And those are not established, right? So that is an option for us, right? But that has to, we have to have probable cause to make those arrests.
Right, but you made arrests already, so don't you have them already in your belt?
Wait, I'm sorry, hold on one second. So in the interest of time, right, I have to make sure that we keep track of that. So this would be that question. I understand, so Inspector, what Ms. Viante is asking, and I think it's a good conversation to have with her and the community about that, is what specific actions will be taken for Lotus Lounge. And I think that she's not getting the answer that she's looking for. So that's why the conversation is prolonged. But I think, is there an officer that you would like, or a department that you would like to put her in touch with to follow up, to see what can be done? So I have, thank you. I have Sergeant Reina, right? Sergeant Reina's card here. So I'm going to give that to you, Mr. Viante.
Yeah. So yeah, do me a favor. Just again, exchange numbers, right? Because again, there's a lot of things I can't say over the air, right? So that's why I have these officers on the side there. That sergeant will not be able to give you the exact information because it's another team that I have working in that particular area. What I need you to do is be able to provide your information to them, and then I will follow up with you.
All right, so Ms. Frazier is going to get the card, Ms. Viante, and then just contact her. Sergeant Warren's card, right? So.
Yep.
Yeah, okay, you're gonna give me that information, or should I give them my information?
No, give them
Ms. Frazier,
your
Ms. Frazier is going to give you the information. So just shoot her an email tomorrow and she'll forward it to you for Sergeant Warren or Sergeant Urena, either one of them.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right. I'm sorry. I know there was another question in the chat. Is it quick? Can it be written? I don't want to. There was somebody else who had a hand raised, I believe. Was there somebody else? Okay, see no hands. Do you have a comment or I thank you, Inspector. So we
Thank you so much.
I'm sorry, tell us your name. I don't remember it. I apologize. Lieutenant Myrtle, Sergeant Lorena, Detective Skinner, and Sergeant Warren, all from the 6-7. So they're here. If you want to chew their ears off, please do so. If you have any questions or concerns, like people in the audience, but we need to move on to the next piece of the agenda. Deputy Inspector, I'm sorry, Inspector, I keep demoting you. I don't know what's going on.
No,
Inspector, thank you
not a
so much
problem,
for reaching out
Mr. Chair.
and
Thank you so
taking
much.
time out.
Thank you.
All right, I appreciate it. All right.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Next, agency. I don't have a list. Let me see. Or do we have a list back there, Miss Reed, of the agents who are here? I have a special request from Assembly Member Radis Bishat. Can I just get, that means I have to change the agenda slightly. In order to do that, I need approval from the body. So before we do that, I need to do a roll call to make sure we have quorum, if I could even do that. So, Madam Secretary, are there any other agencies before I move on? On the board, where? Public Library, okay. Riker, go ahead. D. Riker?
Hi, good evening, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, thank you so much. Season's greetings, everyone. Apologies for being unable to make it there tonight in person. But I hope everybody is well. And I just wanted to share some quick updates for you guys. My name is Danette. I'm one of the library managers at East Flatbush Branch, Brooklyn Public Library. And the library just finished celebrating 125 years. It was their 125th birthday. And one of the things that our agency did was that we counted down 125 of the most borrowed items from the library. And Where the Wild Things Are was actually had the #1 spot. And This campaign is just an example of a local story going national. The campaign received 160 new hits with an estimated 20 million impressions, and that also included a spot on NPR. And just with the importance of literacy, I just wanted to make sure everyone knows that the library is always looking for volunteers. You can volunteer at your local library branch to help children improve their reading skills. Children between the ages of 5 and 11 years old, you could help them expand their vocabulary and strengthen their comprehension skills, and also to help them to become more confident readers. Um, the responsibilities of these specific type of volunteers would be to encourage the development of reading and also comprehension through interactive activities, like, for example, drawing pictures to visualize a story, or helping them to advocate and produce their own stories. Training is provided for the volunteers. The volunteers are asked, though, to make a minimum commitment of 2 hours per week, and with a period that will last for 3 months. Brooklyn Public Library will conduct an investigative background check for volunteers who are 18 and older, and this will be used when considering a prospective volunteer's application. And for more information on volunteer opportunities, I do have this number here. It's 718-230-2406. And the other thing that I wanted to share quickly with everyone, it's the library is also doing virtual medical billing and e-record certification training. The Adult Learning Center, in partnership with SUNY Brooklyn Educational Opportunity Center, is now offering a virtual free 15-week intensive medical billing and e-records class for the spring 2023 cohort. And the medical billing and e-records help build careers in medical and in both the medical and the health insurance fields. Participants will be prepared to take the national certification exam and to become a certified billing and coding specialist. The in-person class schedule is Monday through Friday from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. and Saturday from 10 to 1. And the spring semester runs from February 2023 to May 2023. Just to give people an idea, the program length is 15 weeks, 18 hours each week. And also, for more detailed information, because I know I said a lot, I'll also share the number for this specific program, which is 718-622-4460. And again, that's 718-622-4460. And that's all I have. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. What is the location again?
Oh, so this is for these specific programs?
Yes.
So the specific one for the medical building, this is actually going to be done at one of our adult learning centers. We have different locations, but this particular one I believe is going to be done at Grand Army Plaza, our main location. But I definitely encourage people to contact the number, and if you like, I could place the number in the chat so everyone could just have it for their use.
All right, thank you. Can you also make sure that the district manager gets the email on the information so she can send it out to the general board?
Sure, that's great. Definitely will do.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Any other agency? All right. Madam Secretary?
Paul Aaron. Burlot Antoine.
Is she, Burlot, is she excused or? Okay.
Joan Alexander Bakradine. Hassan Bakradine. Barrington Barrett. Barrington Barrett. Mary Bell Downs. Mary Bell Downs. Teresa Brereton.
Present online.
Hermina Brown. Hermina Brown. Karen Charles DeFreitas. Karen Charles DeFreitas. Joseph Coburn. Joseph Coburn. Asher Cunningham. Diphy Cerillian. Diphy Cerillian. Roderick Daly. Vladimir Dorjli. Vladimir Dorjli. Natasha Duncan. Natasha Duncan. Natalie Ferguson. Dr. Natalie Ferguson. Pearline Fields. Allison French Kenton. Dr. Charles Galbraith. Rachel Goodfriend. Rachel Goodfriend. Rose Graham. Gail Grandison. Sheila Hamlin. Sheila Hamlin. Julia James. Hillary Joseph. Hillary Joseph. Rhonda Joseph. Victoria Langan Khalil. Victoria Langan Khalil.
Osney Lewis. Francie Luzencourt. Francie Luzencourt. Montserrat Oni. Sorry. Rodney Pepe Souvenir. Rodney Pepe Souvenir. June Prasad. Dion Quamina.
Present.
Patricia Reddock. Patricia Reddock. Dave Reed. Dave Reed. Janice Reed. Dr. Carol Renaud. Antoinette Smart. George Tate. Tamara Thomas, present. Marguerite Viglianti.
I'm here virtually, but I don't know if that counts.
Jessica Welch. Jessica Welch. And Kenrick Westcott. Kenrick Westcott.
So while you count that up, we have the community session.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. Ann Hudson, I'm not sure if my name was called. I had to step away for a while.
You're not a board member, Ms. Hudson. So we're doing roll call of board members.
Thank you, sorry.
That's okay. Young man, you had a comment? Now's the time to do it. Sir, in the back. You have 2 minutes. Come forward, come. Anybody else, community related?
Hello, evening. Chairperson Keith Watkins II. Oh, up the podium. Hello, Chairperson Keith Watkins II of Afrofutures Humanist Activist Corps, a fledgling nonprofit. I wanted to ask a few questions in regards to 2023. I had a few programs that I wanted to launch, and if I wanted a sounding board in regards to the community, how the community board may feel about this, or if I could get some community feedback, I was looking forward to inculcating a e-democracy where it'd be possible to get more people interested in participating in government at a more immediate level in regards to tenant unions, as well as e-urban farming, especially in light of the legalization of marijuana, as well as a project in regards to recycling plastic. Due to the plastic epidemic, there was a report that was put out that 30,000 different umbilical cords were tested in regards to plastic being in the bloodstream. And there seems to be a oncoming health crisis that several large companies have already started settling. And also a digital stewardship project as well. And I wanted to be able to talk to some of the elected officials and also community leaders about it. I'd like to start the project in 2023. I've put in several grants in regards to it and wrote several officials. And I want to know if anybody in the room could help me in regards to my nonprofit initiative, that they could reach out to Afrofuturist Humanist Activist Corps. I have a website, as well as possibly if I could talk to somebody about police reform as well. One of the issues in regards to police reform, a lot of times is communication, and also, thank you, 30 seconds, good luck. Also, the technology gap as well too. If it was possible, if you guys have a budget in regards to body cameras, and also are able to allocate body cameras to people that are willing to look out for their community, vestless, untrained, then would you be able to allocate body cameras to nonprofits that are willing to be out there, not as an antagonistic
issue, but as fellow African American patriots that care. It'd be possible, could you help us with that? If we could have some body cameras or something like that.
So let me just be clear. You're advocating for the last part, for body cameras to be a non-police force.
Of course, yeah, as a part of, as a part of embodying, the First Amendment and being, amongst our community, if we could have body cameras, you know what I mean? Like, if it's within the police budget, and also perhaps a reform dialogue, you know? If we share even a piece of gear and a piece of, a stake in the community while having a presence outside, then, you know, maybe a discussion about reform may be made. There's a lot of new technology that's coming out in you know, the 21st century, and you know, a lot of people are looking at the future, not knowing what quite it will mean in regards to us. Elon Musk stated in regards to artificial intelligence and robots that the first jobs that would be taken by robots would be the ones that are tedious, dangerous, and repetitive. And I believe that describes your gentleman's jobs. While there are still humans in uniform, I think that it'd be important that we find some type of solution in regards to reform. It's oncoming.
So you're asking for the community, just yes or no, because then I'm going to know where to direct you. You're asking for for this, are you asking a general, hold on, let me ask the question first. Are you asking for this body right here to give you a response? That means that something would be in writing in the back. Or are you asking if the community board would look into something like this to assist you? Because if that's the case, then I would ask for you to send me an email, right? So I could follow up with the general board and then give it to our district manager so it could go out to the general public as part of that conversation. I just want to be clear what you're asking.
I was asking the room as one unit, but if I have to choose like entities, then I guess I'd have to run it through the board because I came to the board meeting. But I was asking the entity that is this group of human beings.
Okay, so because I don't want to, what happens is that it's going to open up for a discussion, right? That's what you're asking for.
Right.
Which I can't do right now. So that would require presentation and a appropriate time to come to the board to have that presentation, to have that conversation. So I can't deviate from the meeting to have an open discussion of something that was not scheduled. So if you want me to send it to the board, I can do that. And then I could refer you to our social services committee, which is where you would go to have that, actually public safety, when you talk about body cameras. So that's my two immediate answers. Okay, so one, you send me an email, I'll forward you to public safety chair for you to attend that meeting to discuss the body cam. Or two, I could send me something in writing and I could have it sent to the general board. But to open up the floor for a conversation, I can't allow that right now.
Thank you.
So which one, you got to tell me which one you want.
We could email each other.
All right, so my email is CB17, chairperson.
CB.
Community Board 17, CB17, chairperson @gmail.com. Okay, and you can speak to my district manager to the right. Well, what's this? My left in the pink, and she'll give you her email address as well. Yes, is somebody online? 3. Wait, say it again. Giovanni. Yeah, I understand. I did see the council member. All right. I saw the council member. I saw her. My name is George Washington. Mr. Washington, go ahead. You're up. George.
Great evening. I thought you said Washington. My name is George Hutchinson. I am executive chair of a mentoring program called Race for Excellence. We use 10-scale electric remote control cars to teach the participants who are middle school age children skills for success. Currently, we were working out of Tropical Breeze on Utica Avenue. We are currently looking for a new venue to start in January of next year. We meet once a month as a mentoring program on a Saturday from 12 to 4. We also offer after-school programming. So if there's a middle school, if someone has connections in a middle school within Senator Kevin Parker's district, we are looking for another school to offer this program for free. This is paid for by a grant from Kevin Parker's office. We have room for one more school, middle school specifically. If you have any questions about the program, you can go to www.race, R-A-C-E, the number 4, excellence.org. There you'll find information on the program, and you'll be able to contact me directly. Again, the website is www.race, the number 4, EXCELLENCE.org. And my name again is George Hutchinson. I'm Executive Chair of Race for Excellence, and I thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. All right. You're almost at the 2 minutes. Good job, Mr. Hutchinson. Appreciate that. Okay, so we are one person short of quorum, I believe. Not last year. We have to define it. Yes, I'm listening. I'm listening. Yes, Ms. Granderson.
I just wanted to update the information on what I was saying about the 6-7 youth programs. The presentation is this Saturday, the 24th of December, from 11 to 3 p.m. It's at PS 268. That's 133 East 53rd Street. So
Between Clarkson and Winthrop.
Or use code or new codes, please try to drop by and ask for Detective Barry, and you can drop off anything there. And I said before, it's asylum seekers, but it's also for children and families in the community. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. There's a hand in the back. Yes, ma'am.
I told I was going to ask her a little later, but I just needed some information about the rezoning. She mentioned that they were doing a walkthrough in the area.
You're not, I can hear. I'll address it. So the
Yeah.
question is information about the rezoning and the walkthrough.
Right.
So Ms. James, Chair James, just raise your hand. Just, if you just walk over to her, and she'll give you the.
Right, she said that you mentioned that you were doing a walkthrough in the area. I just needed to know how that process works and about the rezoning.
Over and ask it.
I just wanted, I just needed some information on that. Okay, later after? Okay, great. That's it.
Resolved. So that's just a question about the rezoning. All right. Was there anyone who came in that did not hear their name when the roll call was done? All right, we're at 21. Ms. Frazier, please remind me tomorrow of just a quick call between you, myself, and Mr. Cunningham, because there are a few people who have submitted resignation letters to the board, and that officially breaks down a couple of people, right, that affect our committee, like Vladimir and a couple others, right? So to help us with the quorum. Yes, and so we will do our due diligence to follow up. So, which is kind of, it affects our decision-making capacity for all the time. So I'm going ahead and take personal privilege and just look at the agenda. So we're supposed to adopt the minutes, which cannot because we do not have quorum. Am I correct, Madam Chair? We do not have quorum. So now let's go to, we have two speakers real fast. Ladies, you only have no more than 4 minutes. So I'm going to start with Assemblymember Rodney's Bichot. On the climber.
Can everybody hear me? Okay, great. Yes. Hi, everyone. Good evening, CB17. It's a pleasure to be back. And I'm sorry I haven't seen everyone in a while. As many of you know, I was in labor for 9 months of this year, high-risk pregnancy, and now I'm at the age of 50, same age as our chair. Ms. Dale.
Thank you for pointing that out. Yes, our
and so it is a pleasure to be here, and I bring greetings to all of you. Mr. Chair, thank you for having me on tonight to speak. I will be speaking again during the presentation of the exciting news with the rec center, but I just wanted to bring short greetings. Wanted to just mention that we had a great Thanksgiving distribution at Salem Missionary Baptist Church. We gave about 600 turkeys. I want to thank all who's participated and supported. We also want to thank everyone for all the toys during our toy drive. This will, give a lot of support to uplift our families and children. We are currently getting ready to go back to Albany. Actually, I'm going to Albany tomorrow. We're going to be preparing to prepare for the legislative session starting January. I want everyone to stay tuned for the State of the District. We're really excited. Wanted to see everyone tonight, but as you can see, I am home with child who's on my arms right now. I have to stay home with the baby, but wanted to again say thank you, CB17, for all that you're doing. It's great to see the board and the board members, and I'm here to continuously support you. I will speak again during the special session with the Shirley Chisholm Recreation Project. I'm done. I'm fast.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Remember now, you used 2 minutes, 1.5 minutes now, so you have 2.5 at that time. Just remember that, all right?
Okay.
Councilmember Rita Joseph.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, my colleagues, all of my colleagues in government. CB17 chairperson, district manager. Just wanted to wish everyone a happy holiday. Hope that all is going well. We've been busy, been on the ground, busy running around, turkeys, toys, asylum seekers, hearings, budget, name it. I've been running, but making sure that I'm community centered first. Always at your service. Hi, Daniel.
How comes Daniel get a special shout out? Nobody else did. Everybody else.
I'm a mom, and remember, I'm a teacher, so kids are like me. I love kids. Yeah, so Giovanni's on. Giovanni will provide more details on the updates as to what we're doing in the community. More to come. We still have toys to give out. We're still, receiving asylum seekers and our New Yorkers here, so we're making sure we're supporting budget-wise. But thank you for all that you do, CB17. Know that you have a friend, you have an ally. I'm here to support. So thank you so much for having me. I hope I did well on the time.
Thank you, thank you. By the way, welcome back. I know you were out sick last week, so I'm glad to see you back. Awesome,
Thank you
and
so much.
congratulations.
Thank
Congratulations, my 72 baby. I appreciate that. All right, and happy birthday. It just passed, so happy birthday nonetheless. Where we at on the agenda? We're at adoption of minutes, which I said we cannot do. Public hearing. We cannot vote, right? We cannot vote on the initiatives, but I can look at where we stand and then move forward with what we can do in terms of recommendations or whatever the case is. I'll look into that. So we're going to start with commerce.
Excuse me, Chair.
Yes.
You have Councilmember Farah Lewis on as well.
I didn't see a note for her. I didn't see it. So after he gives his, where's council member? I don't see it. Sorry, at the bottom? Council member, please forgive me. Just, I wait for, this to happen and then come back to you. I apologize for that.
Good evening, everyone. My name is June Prasad. I'm the Chair of the Commerce Committee, CB 17. Mr. Chair, on the agenda, we have 3 applicants, but only one showed up at the Commerce meeting last night, so we will only process 1 application. Could you step forward, sir? The applicant is a new application. They're applying for a temporary permit as well. This location is called Legacy Lounge, located at 1308 Utica Avenue, Brooklyn, New York. They're applying for a full liquor license. For those of you who may know, this location used to be Racktop on Utica Avenue, but it's a new owner. We have a police report, but there's no incident due to the, even if there were incident, because it's a new applicant, it doesn't apply to the applicant. At this time, I'll open the floor to the applicant so he can answer any questions you may have. Mr. Sean?
Yes.
You can tell us a little bit about your business.
Well, good evening, everybody. Good. How you doing? I'm opening a lounge. It's called Legacy Lounge. I'm trying to open something nice, something different from what's going on. I'm not doing dancehall or anything like that.
Fred, can you just turn on this mic or pull it up?
Mic up? Okay.
I think it is on.
Yes. So I'm trying to change the reputation that that place had before. So I inquired about the spot and I submitted an application. I want to really make it nice. And it's not going to be loud music. It's a nice environment where people could come in, you could have talk, chat, sit down. And it's not like before where I just heard you talk about Locust Lounge. I'm trying to stay away from situations like that. As long as I've been, know myself, I've never got into any situation with the law. And I pride myself as a law-abiding citizen. And whatever I have to do to make sure everything goes right with this place, I'm going to put my foot forward and work. So I don't want to see the sergeant coming at my place and telling me this is not right. So I want to have a nice environment and people could come in, sit down, have a drink, talk, you know, and it's a lounge. So it's
Okay.
not a,
I think they get it.
okay.
I'll open the floor to any questions.
Yes.
Ms. Smart? Oh,
By 2 o'clock, I should be closed, PM, or AM, I'm sorry.
okay.
I'm sorry. 4 days, all right, including weekends.
Mr. Cunningham?
Thank you. Would you be serving any type of food or would you also be serving cocktails?
I will be serving like chicken wings, finger food, nachos and cheese. You know, the lounge environment. So where you could sit down, have a drink, eat some chicken wings, some French fries, quesadillas. Because I was also into the food business, so I know how to make these stuff.
Well, it is required that once you have alcohol on your premises, you have to have some sort of food. So that's a requirement.
So it's more, you will also be serving cocktails as well?
Right.
Okay.
Are there any other question? 1308 Utica Avenue in Brooklyn. Foster Avenue D, I think, right?
Yes.
Correct. Hearing no other question, I'll open the floor for a roll call. Oh, go ahead, Mr. Tate. Foster Avenue D, is that
Yeah.
correct? Yeah.
Utica between Avenue D and Foster.
It used to be Old Racktop. You know where that is, George? Right. It's Foster and Avenue D. Go ahead, Ms. McBadine.
Which car service?
There's a mechanic shop down, right down.
No, no, no.
Because it used to be the person that owned Ragtop before also had. That is correct. You are correct.
Right.
He's renting from.
Yeah, I wouldn't know that, that
Yes.
information.
Mhm.
Thank you. I'm just checking.
You're welcome.
Okay,
How this is happening.
right.
And I did warn him that the police is well aware of that location. So
As I said,
they
I don't-
will be
I don't
coming.
mess with police.
Just
Try to
giving you
do it
that
right.
heads up. Okay, we open the floor for a vote. Oh, we don't have a quorum, sorry. Thank you, Mr. Sean.
Please note that under renewal application, right, presented before the board. So a vote we have a customer to do the vote, but as a renewal application, I'm correct? If I'm correct, they don't,
Say that again?
never mind. I'll
This
just
is a new application, Mr. Chair. We don't have a renewal yet.
Yeah, I know. As a new applicant with no incidents, no issues.
Right.
Right. I can go ahead and move with the recommendation.
You are the chair, don't ask me,
Yeah,
sir.
yeah.
Thank you.
That's it? Okay. Where am I missing now? So the other component was to elect the treasurer, which we can't do. We don't have quorum. So even if I were to take a nomination, doesn't even matter. We cannot vote. So yes.
We still cannot process our rental payments and our water and sewer payments for the past 3 months. Is it possible for the members that are present here tonight to give us or give you the okay to vote in the affirmative for us to continue, maybe with Ms. Dyfin?
I do know that it's within my bylaw, within the powers of bylaws for me to appoint her, which is what I'm going to continue doing until we do a chair. I mean, not a chair, a treasurer, right? So I'm hoping that, we need like 3 or 4 more people to show up in person for the next meeting, and then we could put it at the special meeting as well. So we could put it on both agenda.
I am going to officially allow her to sign off on the
Yes.
rental payments so that we could move the work of the board forward.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so, again, yes, Daniel. No, I said that right after Chair Prasad went. I just want to make sure that we know that I guess I don't want to go through that anymore about the lack of quorum, right? So we need that for things to happen. Councilmember Lewis, you're acknowledged.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
All right. Good evening, Chair Daly, District Manager Frazier, the Executive Board, and all members. I hope everyone is doing well. I send greetings on behalf of the 45th Council District, and I also want to greet my colleagues that are on today. I just wanted to come on and provide season's greetings to everyone that observes any of the holidays that we're observing this month. And also just wanted to share with you all quickly that Community Board 17 has been proactive and helpful in partnering with our office on many actions throughout this year, whether it be housing issues, public safety, or youth programming. I just wanted to thank this board for standing with the office and working with us in order to provide services and program initiatives to folks in our district. I truly appreciate the partnership. I look forward to cultivating that in 2023. I look forward to tonight's presentation by DDC and Parks. I know that they worked very hard
on the deck that they're going to show you, as well as the blueprint of the project that's coming up for the Shirley Chisholm Recreation Center. So I'll have more to share later regarding that. But I just wanted to thank you all for your partnership and look forward to more to come. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, council member. All right. Say it again. Is he here or is our staff? If he's here, it's different from his staff. I got you. So we're supposed to have co-naming of Utica Avenue from Eastern Parkway, Avenue H, to be renamed Guyana Avenue. So, Mr. Transportation Chair.
Good evening again, everyone. Last Tuesday, we had the Utica Avenue Co-Naming Committee come and do a presentation on the importance and impact of the Guyanese community in Brooklyn. Like the chair said, they're looking to rename Utica Avenue from Eastern Parkway to Avenue H, Guyana Avenue. Tonight we have Mr. Richmond and Mr. Arjun here to present. Call them up right now. They're going to give you a presentation. We couldn't move it forward. We did not have quorum in our committee. And of course, we don't have quorum here tonight, but they will present to you. Mr. Richmond, Mr. Arjun.
Thanks. Good evening. Thanks for allowing us to discuss this subject. The realization of co-naming Utica Avenue from Eastern Parkway to Avenue H would be a celebration of the Guyanese community's achievements and a deeply felt affinity to this wonderful borough. The life and times of the late Shirley Chisholm embodies this affinity. This great woman, whose father was Guyanese, her mother, Barbadian, was the first in many accomplishments. She was the first Black woman to be elected to the United States Congress, where she represented the 12th Congressional District from 1969 to 1983. The first Black woman to serve on the powerful Rules Committee of Congress. First African American to seek the presidential nomination of one of the two major political parties. That was in 1972. She became the courageous and tireless voice for women and minorities. There's also the outstanding political activism of Wesley MacDonald Holder, who became to be known as the Dean of Brooklyn politics for his significant impact on Brooklyn politics in the 60s, 70s, and the 80s. This tradition of political service has continued by others of Guyanese heritage, and these include State Senator Roxanne Prasad and Assemblywoman Alicia Hindman. The community has complemented this service with establishing several educational institutions where it has produced fine students and responsible citizens. And of course, there are many businesses established by Guyanese who support the tax base in Brooklyn and provide many jobs for families. This area will be expanded on by my colleague, Mr. James Richmond. I thank you for listening, and I wish you the best of holidays and to your families. James?
Thank you very much, Director Carjun. Good evening, everyone, all protocol observed. We have Mark Benshaw online, one of our community member, and we also have Doris Rodney here with us. Now, the Guyanese community has contributed tremendously to the social, cultural, and religious tapestry and fabric of Brooklyn, and most particularly in and around Utica Avenue. Guyanese love of the area is evidenced by churches and numerous homes they have established and purchased. In so doing, they have helped in strengthening a greater community for all in our beloved central Brooklyn area. The result is that several active block associations and service organizations, such as the Lions Clubs, are populated by Guyanese, which serves to strengthen the civic engagement and security for our community. They have established several houses of worship. A few examples are the God's Battalion of Prayer, Restoration Temple Assembly of God, Full Gospel Assembly Church, with St. Gabriel's Episcopal Church having a large and vibrant and vital Guyanese contingent in its congregation, and many of the churches in our community are populated by Guyanese. Many Guyanese and their descendants are active in the social, religious, and political affairs of Brooklyn, and it is quite fitting to support the co-naming of Utica Avenue from Eastern Parkway to Avenue H to Guyana Avenue. As the nation of Guyana serves as the headquarters of CARICOM to foster unity and prosperity amongst its member states of the Caribbean region, similarly, this co-naming will lend visibility, unity, and prosperity to our entire Caribbean diaspora. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. I'm looking forward for your vote. Thank you again to the co-naming committee. I'd just like to add, they submitted 20 pages of signatures from residents along Utica Avenue, as well as support from 11 of our local elected officials. I believe everyone got those. Assemblymember Cunningham, Congressman Jeffries, and Senator Kevin Parker, just to name a few. Thank you. Oh, yes, and Assemblymember Bishop, thank you.
Yes, go ahead, Chair. Your chairman just spoke.
Hi, good evening. I wanted to ask the proponents of this particular, sorry, okay. Are there any Caribbean islands that are not contributing to the betterment of Brooklyn? Because I'm curious as to why it is that we are going down this trend of singling out particular countries. So if one country deserves, because their residents have made such a valuable contribution to Brooklyn, what about the other islands? And when do we stop? I think we started wrong in the first place when we started with one particular island, because we are dividing, first of all, we're dividing the Caribbean island, which is not the best thing to do. But if you're going to honor one particular island, all the islands have to be honored. So a proposal was brought to the board where all various areas of the district, right, were assigned names. I think that would be good. But I think we as a board have to realize that when we are partial to one particular island, it's not necessarily in the best interest of the entire community.
Thank you, Ms. James. I'll call Mr. Richmond up to give a more specific answer on his feelings towards his island, but I do know that one of their missions that they said for this co-naming was to bolster and support other islands, and for the future for them to have their names, streets named after them as well, so. Yes.
I'm sorry. Thank you, Chair James, for bringing that up. Chair James. So one of the answer is there is something in the works as we speak that we're working on immediately, right? To revisit not just Guyana Avenue or Bob Marley Boulevard, because there is one, or Toussaint Louverture, which is Nostrand Avenue. But the idea of revisiting the whole section to be looked at, like within this area, to look at, renamed Little Caribbean, right? Which would, no, it's not official. It's just, they kind of did that. But to move forward, so therefore, there is a look at all of the Caribbean islands and the Caribbean culture. That was in a meeting that was had. So we're looking at that as well. So it's not just singling out Guyana or Jamaica or Trinidad or Dominica or Barbados. I could start going, right? So somebody's already telling me to be quiet about the islands because I'm gonna forget one. But all of them will be looked at as well in a representative area. So, all right. So, but thank you for that question. All right. You have yeah.
I think you, Chair, okay.
Yes. Yes, Chair James.
What I would like to propose is that either the executive committee or you assemble some of the committee to come up with a plan, present where all the Caribbean islands are honored, and we do it all at the same time.
We're working on that.
Thank you.
As we speak. Working on that as we speak. Mr. Richmond?
Yes, sir.
In the essence of time.
Ms. James, appreciate your concern. And that's why I stressed the last point that as a nation, Guyana serves as the headquarters of CARICOM to foster unity and prosperity amongst its member states of the Caribbean region. Similarly, this co-naming will lend the unity and prosperity for our entire Caribbean. Look, we are all one people from the Caribbean, and this is an initiative to ensure that we recognize our entire Caribbean people. And Guyana being such a country that is uniquely strategically located and set up for the Caribbean region, I think this step is a good first step or continued step so we can achieve what we're looking for, totality in recognizing the entire Caribbean.
Thank you, Mr. Richmond.
Thank you very much.
All right. So we're looking for. Well, we're not going to debate that. It is considered to be part of the Caribbean and CARICOM, one of the CARICOM countries. All right. Yes, I know that debate. You know, yes, it is considered part of the Caribbean. Derek, Mr. Arjun, because she's from Barbados. That's why she's in the middle of the Caribbean Sea. So the biggest part of our evening tonight is a conversation around with DDC and the Parks and Recreation to talk about the Shirley Chisholm Recreation Center. Now, before he speaks, I want to say that I've heard that there's a move to move it back to Tilden. I'm going to say that out loud. I've heard. Now, nothing has come across my desk. I've had no emails, no conversations. I mean, I'm not saying who said it or who doesn't say it. Who hasn't said proper English. Bad AP. But as far as I know, we're moving forward with the Shirley Chisholm Recreation Center at the previously Foster Playground. Somebody knows something different, and I'm saying it out loud because I heard it, and somebody said it to me, multiple people brought it to my attention. So I'm unaware of that, unaware of any move. As far as I know, we're moving forward with Foster Park. And when you come up to do your presentation, please, I am in the dark. So if you hear that too, please let me know. Let us know together. So we all find out together. Go ahead.
We'll clarify. Hello, folks. My name is Martin Marr. I'm the Brooklyn Parks Commissioner. I've been doing this for 38 years. I am delighted to be here with Community Board 17. Sharif and I go back a good 25, 30 years working as partners. Mr. Chair and all the members, thank you so much. It's been a long road. It's been almost 10 years. If everybody recalls, we had a feasibility study that got funded. We had listening sessions. This has had more public input than any project I've been involved with. And it was originally at Tilden Center. And I have to tell you, I was floored when we got $50 million for that, because in my career up at that time, I never seen that kind of money come forward. And I said, well, that's probably as far as you're going to go. But I got to tell you something publicly right here, right now. You have amazing elected officials here. And this fat boy got schooled by Councilmember Farah Lewis and ably supported by Assemblymember Rodnesi Bashad Hermelin, because they said, nuh-uh. That's not good enough for East Flatbush. That's not good enough for Community Board 17. That's not good enough for this community. We want more. We want a pool. We want a full gym. We want a learning kitchen. We want to honor Dr. Roy Hastic. And guess what? They schooled me, and it went from 50 million to 141 million. So give them a round of applause. These are amazing elected officials you have. You're very, very lucky to have them. And we couldn't do it without the partnership of CB17. So we've come a long road, and it is indeed in Foster Avenue and Nostrand Playground. It's going to be a centerpiece of that site. It's very well, and I got to say, Parks is good at doing playgrounds and parks, but the Department of Design and Construction are amazing people. They have assembled such a good team, and it's not one or two designers. And this is our second, in my career, our second design build. Our mayor wants things to be more efficient. His phrase is "get it done." And design parks, everybody knows it took us 10 years to get to where we are. It would have took us another 5 years after that. Design and design build with the DDC and their team that they've assembled makes it happen much faster. It's still the city, it still takes time. It takes some engineering and design. What you're gonna see is absolutely amazing. And we listen to everybody, almost every program that people wanted to see, if it can be fit in this spot, providing it's a park purpose. It has to be a park purpose. We're guided by public doctrine. But I think you're gonna be very, very excited. So you owe a round of applause to your elected officials, but you really owe a round of applause. I'm going to ask the DDC team that's presenting to come up. They're going to take you through this. We're going to be as quick as we can because we value your time. But I think you're going to be amazed because in my 38-year career, I've never seen anything like this. This is going to be the biggest rec center in the city. This is going to be the best rec center because it's in Brooklyn and it's right here in CB17. Come on up, guys.
One second. Assemblymember Bashad, you had a comment before DDC comes on? Remember, by the way, you have 30 minutes.
Well,
Yeah, that's what it says on the agenda. Sorry, Mr. Lewis, it is on the agenda. All right, thank you. Assemblymember Bashad, go ahead.
Yes, sorry, just briefly, and I know Councilmember Farah Lewis will speak after me, as she's been the one who's been the driving force. I just wanted to say thank you, Commissioner Mayor. Thank you, DDC, for coming today. I just wanted to let everyone know that this has been a hard, not a hard, but I would say this was a project that came out of sweat and equity. Councilmember Farah Lewis took this to the top, and I was there to support her. She had the vision, she had worked with the constituents, and she will tell you a little bit more at Tilden, where they, you know, the initial project was a flat project with nothing, just rooms, not much of a population. And it was Councilmember Lewis's idea to bring it to a very dense area, an area with high gun violence, an area of a high area of population of seniors and young folks and people who can work. So what I'm really excited about this is the fact that we will be able to include the community, have the local community to work. Like the commissioner had mentioned, this was started as a $15 million dollar project. And we were like, heck no, we matter too. Okay. Our lives matter too. And you're going to see the wonderful things, including a swim pool. We do not have a swimming pool in our area. And, you know, this is a predominantly area of color. And many times, especially us being from the islands, we don't have the luxury of getting access to water. And given that we have issues around high blood pressure, diabetes, and so forth, joint issues with our bodies, water, swimming really is a big part of our wellness. So not only that this recreation center will address wellness, but it will also address the youth that are on the streets and have nothing to do and join gangs and typically participate in the gun violence. We're hoping that that will eradicate that to a high level where these youth come to the recreation center, you know, play basketball, run, you know, track, help with the gardening, with the green roofing that we have, and participate in the youth programming, and participate with seniors, and also learn how to cook well so that we can eat well. So there's a lot of stuff that we talked about, and of course, honoring Dr. Roy Hastic was definitely a big priority of ours. We'll never forget him. So again, I just want to thank once again DDC, Parks, for all their help, all their work, and presenting this. But more importantly, I want to thank Councilmember Farah Lewis, because it was a vision that she took and made it a reality. And we would not have been here without her vision, her hard work, and making this possible. And for anyone who is a minority or women business enterprise contractor, if you have your own business, if you paint or do something in construction, pave roads, whatever, or if you've gone through an OSHA training, please let us know, because this is a project that we want to make sure that the community is participating and the community will help build in the name of our beloved Shirley Chisholm. So with that, thank you. And I'll hand the mic over to our fierce, devoted councilwoman, Councilmember Farah Lewis.
Good evening, everyone. Again, thank you so much, Assemblymember B. Short, for your support for this project and for joining the vision with me. This project was definitely a labor of love. I want to thank Commissioner Mayer. Sorry, I'm at my mom's house. It's her birthday and everyone's loud. I want to thank you, Commissioner Mayer, because where you could have just shut down the idea and told me it was not going to happen, you joined forces with myself, Assemblymember Bishop, and we made it happen. And I definitely want to thank DDC for your intentionality, strategic, to take all the feedback from the community, from the first project to the existing project, putting everything that folks acted and wanted to see for this community center. This will be one of the biggest recreation centers in Central Brooklyn. I always say often when I meet with Community Board 17, we want more for ourselves. If we see things in Park Slope and other ways, we have to believe that we can have the same, and if not better. So again, I want to believe in the vision. Thank you so much, Commissioner Mayer. And I want to thank two constituents, Linda Turner and William, on by Tilden Avenue, who have a Block association called Concerned Tilden Park. I want to thank you both for fighting for your community, for fighting for yourself, believing that we can provide this project, but in a more way. So without further ado, I'm going to hand it back over to the chair so that you can present DDC and Parks. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. So I want to start with DDC, and one of the things that while you're doing your presentation, talk about what is being offered at this. I think that's very important.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me? Thanks for having me, thanks for having us. This will be a joint presentation, a couple of members of the team. My name's Arthur Liu. I'm an architect at Studio Gang Architects. The team was led by Lend-Lease. It's our prime CM. It's a design build contract. Obviously, it's administered with the DDC, so thank you. I'm joined by Elizabeth Kennedy, our landscape architect, and Talisha Sainville, our associate architect. And we've got a really great project grounded by a lot of great input community as well as support from electeds and a great team. From there, I will hand it over to Elizabeth.
Good evening, everyone. Well, I certainly don't have to remind this room about Shirley Chisholm's legacy. But what I am here to do to kick this presentation off is to really assure you and explain to you how her legacy has informed our work, the designers, Lend-Lease, the city. You know, her famous statement was, if they don't give you a seat, bring a folding chair. And our job has been to make sure that her mission, her ethos, has informed the design process fully. We are here to make sure that you, as a community, are empowered to receive this recreation center and to claim it as your own. And we're going to explain how we've done that.
So to start off with the main renderings here, I've got three to show you from the beginning, and then we'll go through all the plans as well. This is the main view from Farragut Place. In the distance, you would see Nostrand Playground. In the foreground is a large open space that is currently the AstroTurf Playground. To the left, off of the rendering, would be the public school. The building is brick. It's got very large windows. We've got a lot of activity happening inside, and really the aspiration here was to provide as much natural daylight as possible into all of those spaces. This is the main rendering that you would see, the main elevation facade that you would see from the public school. So there's a west facade. And this is the main rendering from the north side, looking from Nostrand Playground. We'll go more into the plans and how the programming is, but just to give you a sense from the start of what the visual expression of the building is, we've got a very low, what appears to be a two-story building to be sensitive to the neighborhood and context, but it's actually 3 stories above grade and 1 story below grade. So it's a very robust program, a lot of activity happening. The building is grounded on 6 design principles, going through them very quickly, 1 through 6. Ideas about durability. This is a robust building. It has to stand the test of time, of course. It has to be functional. We've got a basketball court, pool, teaching kitchen, the Roy Haskett media lab. There's all these different functions, and each one is designed to work properly for what it's supposed to be designed for. Sensible sustainability. We're building in a time where we have to be environmentally conscious. So that's a basic thing, of course, that we have to do. Value. We're using public money. We gotta offer value. Use money in the right place, right way, and it's also for the community, of course. So we have to be sensitive to the context and design something that is a welcoming civic asset. So all those were central in the formation of this project. The location, you all know it very well. It's right here in the middle of the borough of Brooklyn, which is highlighted on this map. As you can see, this map also shows the other recreation centers in the borough of Brooklyn. This is fulfilling a void within the borough of Brooklyn and your community. It also happens to be the largest recreation center that's going to be offered. This chart here on the right, which I'm sorry, you probably can't see all these words, but this is the full program that's offered in all the recreation centers that the Parks Department runs. Our building here, the Shirley Chisholm Recreation Center, is on the right. And we've got so much more than many of the other facilities. Again, the pool, teaching kitchen, NCAA scaled basketball court, running track. I can go on, but we will go through the plans. So I'll keep moving forward. Elizabeth?
Sorry. Okay, hello. So, oh. I'm Talisha Sainville. I'm an architect based here in Brooklyn, and I'm a part of this design team. Happy to be with you all this evening. We're starting off here with a zoomed-in plan of the site, the immediate site, around where the building is going to be on Foster Playground, sorry, Chairperson Daly. So the location is one of the most exciting parts of this project, I feel, because it's right off of Nostrand Avenue. It's close to the B8, the B44, the 2 and the 5 train, within walking distance to the Flatbush Junction. And right next door, as you can see, is Flatbush Gardens. So that makes it, really accessible for the community. This site is really at the center of where I think a lot of the action is, and that makes it good because it keeps the low-rise, single-family blocks away from all the hustle and bustle of Nostrand Avenue. And I think that because this is going to have a lot of activity, this is going to make it a prime location. Thank you. So in diving into the neighborhood demographics, there's a lot of information about the almost 40,000 people that make up the area, including the need for parks and mental health resources, like having places to go for a swim or go for a walk in the new park, and also a need for sustainable sites. Thank you. In zooming out a little bit about the context, the greater context, the new recreation center is also well placed within Little Caribbean, the Little Caribbean district, and right on the spine of Little Haiti. We're also on the border of District 17 as well as District 14. So I think that that's a great way to bring the two districts together because we share so much in common, especially in this area. The area is also rich with existing neighborhood assets that address spiritual, cultural, educational needs of its inhabitants. But I think that one of the things that we're really missing is a nice new recreation center. And I hope that you heard Councilmember Lewis and Arthur Liu and everybody that mentioned that this is the biggest in the borough. This is going to be the biggest in the borough, which I think is amazing. So in these images, you might see some familiar faces because these are the people who make up the community. I was born and raised in East Flatbush myself, Sac-Passé. I currently live in Flatbush, just a few blocks away from the site. And fun fact, CB17 chairperson was actually a coach in my high school when I was in high school. I think that we're close in age, so if that makes you feel any better. But for me, this recreation center is very personal, and I hope that it'll be personal for you all as well. So this is why it's really important that together with Elizabeth Kennedy, that we put our community engagement plan together starting with an emphasis on who the new recreation center is for, which is you, the community, and really us, the community. The way that I see it, one of the most important parts of this new state-of-the-art recreation center is that it will serve the community. Slide. So these are some of the places where we shop, and this is really the neighborhood that we call home. And it is our hope that you will join us in community conversations that we plan on offering, because this exciting new recreation center is for all of us, and we want everybody to have an equitable stake in it. And for as good as you think those renderings look that you just saw, and the plans that you're going to see in the next few pages, it will only be made more beautiful by the participation of the community and all of you. So I just wanted to end this portion of it with a little fun fact again, that Flatbush Gardens actually started out in 1881 as a major water supply company site, and it used to feed the entire neighborhood. And now, obviously, it's turned into what we now know as the Flatbush Gardens Complex. And I think in some ways that's really poetic, because it used to nourish the neighborhood. And now with this new state-of-the-art recreation center, we're again nourishing the neighborhood. So, thank you.
Well, how's this going to work? As you can see, the proposed center occupies or will occupy the current ball field. And one of the concerns that we would all have is its connection to the existing Foster playground and how it essentially works in our communities. So these are just views of what we all know, a large artificially turfed recreational area that's surrounded by trees, looking east and west, looking north and south. What we're trying to do with, what we plan to do with the site plan, with our design, is make sure that that there's full connection with the surrounding community when the recreation center actually comes online. So conditions like fences with dead ends, all of that goes away. Lost corners, all of that goes away. A sense of real integration with the larger neighborhood is very much front and center in the design. And to do that, what the design team had to do was make sure that this amazing program and all of these features, these full-scale features, quite frankly, actually sit on the site in such a way that you still have a park. So there were many studies and many sort of iterations to make sure that the building was as efficient as it could be, even in delivering all of the programs that it will. And so again, when it comes online, you can see that there's a real flow from Foster down towards Farragut that leads you right to this center. And with that, the idea that we're extending what Parks does so well elsewhere in the city in terms of its use of trees, site furniture, plant materials, all of that will feel seamless as this new state-of-the-art building is presented to you.
This plan is really good at showing one of the main aspirations of the proposal, which is to really keep the building as compact as possible in plan, so that we keep as much of the park that's there right now, open playground between the public school and the recreation center. I'm going to go through a couple of plans in a way 2 times. This first set is very simple diagrammatic bubble diagrams, let's call them, of all the plans, and then we'll go into the more detailed plans right after that. So I'll do it twice, basically. This first set of plans, the bubble diagrams you see down here at the bottom, or in the middle, you see 4 plans. There's 1 below grade and 3 above grade. Below grade, the building in a way it's designed around 2 really the largest spaces in the building. It's the gymnasium, which starts at the lowest level. It's double height, so you can see it here in the first floor, and it has a track above that. And then there's the pool, which is the second biggest space. The 2 together basically make up the full volume of the building. And then we have all of the support spaces in the middle, locker rooms, bathrooms, et cetera, and corridors, of course, right in the middle. We call it the spine of the building on every floor. So the first floor here, again, has that track at the bottom here, and then the pool is at the same level as the ground, right off of the lobby. The second floor is where we have a cardio room, weightlifting room, spin room, dance room, and we also have there's a double height space for the pool. It's an awesome pool. I'm very proud of it. And we have a mezzanine level that that has bleacher seatings where you can see events happening. And then the third floor is program spaces like the teen room, the after-school program, which has an indoor and an outdoor component, as well as a teaching kitchen and a media lab. I know I just went through a lot, but what's great about our proposal is that even though we have 4 floors, the way that the building occupies the site is, again, compact in plan, but also really compact in height. It looks like a 2-story building in those renderings that I showed earlier, because the third floor, which is above grade, is pulled back from the edge of the building. So it helps to control the visual scale, and it doesn't feel as large and imposing on the site. So we're very proud of that move. This is the first detailed plan I'm going to go through. It's the lower level, and that's where the gymnasium is located down here. Again, the spine over here is where the bathrooms and some lockers are located, support spaces I use generally as a term. We have 2 elevators in this building. We also have, on the north side is kind of mechanical spaces, not so important to call out here. The main level, ground floor, or one of the main levels, a very generous lobby here in red, which pokes out a little bit into the outside space. So it really signifies an entrance, a very clear entrance. You always see the front door. To the south over here is that that upper level of the gymnasium, which has a running track. And then the pool on the north side, which is just off of the lobby. So at the same level again. You don't have to go up or go down, same level. And then we have dedicated men's and women's locker rooms for the pool, as well as 2 family changing rooms, accessible bathrooms as well, of course. And I think that's it for this level. The next floor, again, more fitness. I'm going to start at the lobby space, actually. So we have this very great convenience stair that whisks you straight up. If you feel like starting your exercise as soon as you walk through the door, as opposed to taking the elevator, you walk up the stair. So you land on this platform, and immediately you can see the strength room over here on the left, in the middle, cardio, and then a dedicated spin room on the right side over here. You could walk down the corridor. We again have a set of locker rooms, men's and women's, and then dedicated bathrooms as well for them. We have a dance studio as well on the north side over here. And then I mentioned the pool has a double height space, which is where the mezzanine with bleachers is located. Finally, the third floor program spaces, not fitness oriented. So I'll start at the top here, and I'm most excited about this program, frankly, on a personal level, after school program. So it's an inside space as well as a dedicated outside space. It's all protected since we have young children here. In the lower portion, we have a dedicated room for teens, a program room, the Roy Hastick Media Lab, as well as the teaching kitchen. This level, I said, was pulled in a little bit to kind of give this, reduce the sense of scale from the outside. It also offers terraces. So, if you happen to come to this level, you'll be able to walk outside and, have a nice sunbathing or something right here on the terrace, or even here on the south side. I believe this is the last plan, which is the roof plan. What we're trying to show is a green roof. I mentioned sustainability earlier. There's heat island effect. There's a lot of things that this building is doing right for the environment and thus obviously for the community. So we have a green roof offered here as well. A few other illustrations. This is a section, so it's a cut through the building, and this is happening to be a cut through the pool. And you see the deep end over here, double height space. It's about 30 feet floor to floor. Let me see. Next section is through the basketball court. That's also approximately 30 feet. I think it's about 32. Starting at the basement level and then up to the second floor over here, fitness above that. And then just to give you a sense of the relationship between the two, another section in the opposite direction that shows you the pool, double height space again, and then gymnasium, double height space here. And then the spine in the middle where all those support spaces are. Parks Department has quite a number of recreation centers, not just in Brooklyn, of course, but all the boroughs. And they have a legacy, a clear material legacy, which is one of brick. So that's the material that we've chosen to honor. It's a building that's representative of a brick construction. And in brick, we often find arches as part of the expression. So that explains some of the imagery that you saw earlier in those renderings. We also found inspiration in the way the body moves through space, in the way that you perform, say, recreational activity, basketball, running, et cetera. And there are a lot of arched forms from that. So it became a very nice pairing of a material, a way of using a material, and a way of expressing the body in architecture. Renderings of the elevation. So, you know, it's even here, we're trying to show that the building is, what you see immediately is one that's 2 stories, but it's actually a 3rd story, mostly of glass on that 3rd floor, a lot of light, a lot of windows. This upper elevation is the one you would see across from the public school, so it's the west elevation. The south elevation faces Farragut Place, so we think of that as the main point of entrance, let's say, for the community. The east elevation faces Flatbush Gardens, and the north elevation here is what you would see from Nostrum Playground. Again, materials, lots of brick, lots of big windows, natural daylight, and this is my last slide. A physical model. Happy to have you all come to the office and see it if you want, but we're very excited. Thank you very much.
So thank you, DDC. They really, I have to tell you, you gave us a lot of feedback. Your elected officials, the assembly member and the council member gave us a lot of feedback. Parks also puts DDC and the whole design team through the grill, and they really, really listened, and they really did this nice in a park setting. And we're really, really very proud of the work DDC and our elected officials and our partners in the community did.
All right. So pause first before I make my comment. Ms. Belcher, you had a question.
So the beauty of design build, I can say summer of 25 is all talking about. Essentially next week, summer of 25 is when we hope to have this all complete. And that's the beauty of design build. You see the conceptual stuff, the engineering and the detailed design stuff happens as it's being built. So this is really going to move much faster than if it was a Parks Department or another one of the bureaucracy agencies. DDC knows how to move something through.
I just would say, my response to that, if it's going to start next week, the board did not get an invitation for the groundbreaking. We didn't get that.
We didn't. There's mobilization and other things that happen.
Okay.
If I could just chime in. Hello, good evening.
One second, whoever's speaking, 1 second.
Sure.
I'm not saying no, I'm just saying 1 second. I'm not sure if that was you, right? Go ahead, Mr. Lewis.
Good evening, all. Austin Lewis, board member. In terms of the stakeholders, the community engagement, in particular, when it comes to those who hire and so forth. Effectively, I know that McKissick is also a part of this project. Is it possible that they are part of the folks that will be a part of the mechanism to incorporate workers, work development, as well as contractor development, subcontractor development? That's key. And we want to make sure that that's happening, because in particular, it is to my understanding that this project is actually supposed to break ground, I think, the third quarter of 2023. If I'm mistaken or misquoted, I would like some clarification. But I want to make sure that the community is involved particularly in the process of those people that will be actually doing the installation, the building, and so forth. Because many times, what ends up happening, the folks that are in the community, because they are outside players who come in, who might have the capabilities and the qualifications, there has not been enough investment in the community to build up those that are there to be able to handle the capabilities. So I don't want us to get away and run away from that, because a lot of the times other folks come in, they have the capability, and then we are begging them to hire. We should be at the forefront to command and demand intentionality in our community to make sure our people enjoy the benefit. Not just when it comes up and thing, but actually building it. So you have the feel as though you did something well in your community, and you could always show the legacy to your grandchildren, your children, and so forth. Thank you very much.
Thank you, board member. Patrick Bronner with Lend-Lease here in New York City, the design builder for the project. Inadvertently, we did not show the slide early. This is the project schedule. Basically, right now, we're in the mode of completing our schematic design for the project, which really produced those renderings you saw and plans. We'll be continuing the design through the first part of 2023 and completing design development. We're also going to be at Public Design Commission meetings throughout that early part of 2023 into mid-2023. And what we've been doing on site, just some preliminary investigative borings to inform the design. We will start procurement process in 2023. And our design completion will occur basically in summer 2023, and the construction start is currently planned in about June 2023. But in order to get into this process, we are now reviewing the schematic design, and we have McKissick and McKissick in association with Lend-Lease involved in the project. So we can do MBWB outreach. The project has a 30% goal for minority and woman-owned business enterprises. Studio Gang, our architect, is a woman-owned business enterprise. So we'll be doing MBWB outreach with Lend-Lease and McKissick through a variety of events for outreach and engaging the community. We have Bomi Kim here tonight from McKissick. She may say a few words about both outreach for contracting opportunities and also workforce development.
Good evening. As Patrick mentioned, my name is Bomi Kim. I am the VP of MWB Services for McKissick and McKissick. We're really excited to be part of this project. As you mentioned, we really are invested in ensuring that the community is benefiting from the work that's going to be happening in the community. And we are really looking forward to engaging with the Flatbush and Community Board 17 and Community Board 14 businesses, as well as residents, to ensure that the opportunities that are going to be presented through this project are going to be, equitably and transparently shared and be part of your economic development, plan for the neighborhood. So I'll be very happy to share my contact information as we start to move the procurement schedule, we will be, we have one of our project managers who's going to be working on this project is a community resident. So she will be part of the community and she'll be able to share with you how the project is moving forward. She'll be able to share with you what the progress of the project is going to be and what the procurement is going to look like. And we're going to make sure that we are going to we're working very closely with Lend-Lease to look at the project and the scope of work that's going to be coming down. And we're really looking to see how do we make sure that the bid packages, the construction, the opportunities that are coming out are right size for the availability of MWBEs that are not only present in this community, but that are available in New York City. And we want to make sure that those firms are given the opportunity. And if there are capacity, lacking of capacity because whether it's finance or the size of the firms, that we're referring them to the right resources so they could be prepared if it's not for this project, for additional or future projects. So we're really looking forward to having a robust partnership to ensure that we are part of your community. We want to come in and we want to be part of the process. And it's not about us just coming into sort of, carpet bag here. So we want to make sure that we're part of the process.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm looking at the time as well, right? So I have to bear those two things in mind. Are there any other questions from the audience? Ms. Belcher, and is that Ms. Martinez? Yes? Yes. Just come up to the mic, and then if anybody has other questions, just come up to the mic so we can move the process along.
You had mentioned 30% minority involvement with the construction. Why only 30%? Why not 50%? We want 50% minority involvement in constructing it, not 30. I mean, we want equal labor to put in something in our own community.
We met in August with the Commissioner of DDC and Assistant Commissioner of Design Build, and they informed us of this as well. Although contractually, those were the obligations, we subsequently went through our program, especially on the design side, where we already have Studio Gang, who is representing actually 47% participation. We brought in Elizabeth Kennedy and Talisha as well. So now we're even with the design side of the project above 50% participation in minorities. And we are continuing to look for opportunities. We had a design build forum online on October 26th, which was well attended and represented. We put out QR codes so that we can engage more participation of minorities. So we're in that process of collecting those names now so we can then bolster that participation.
I think we need more discussion about the actual labor of our minority community.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Ms. Martinez?
Yes. On that point, are you working with SBS to create basically like a feeder system to get people in the community who are in these businesses to get themselves certified through this project? But that's not my question, but that's my follow-up for that. So
That's the question?
that's not my other question, but that's
As
my
a follow-up to her
her
question, are you going to help people to get certified so that they can apply for some of these positions in the businesses? I think that's a good question.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we could definitely assist the businesses that are interested in being certified, provide them with guidance. Obviously, the certification is done by SBS. So we work very closely with SBS to ensure that the information about the certification is out, as well as, helping the firms guide, through the process.
So
Okay, thank you.
Post-construction, what I want to know is since it's going to be a recreation center, so that's run by Parks, what is the process for making sure that the CBOs that are working in the community will actually have the ability to get the jobs to do the programming?
So we do partner with community groups on programming in all our rec centers. So when we have this built, you can reach out to me. Deputy Commissioner Nelson's not with us. Eileen Dalton is going to be our key person. She's the Chief of Recreation of Brooklyn, but we partner with groups all the time. The staff will be Parks and Recreation staff that run the center, And, there's civil service folks and always look on the parks website for opportunities, but we do partner with groups on various programs and we intend to do the same.
We just want to be sure that that's more equitable in terms of the people the BIPOC community that lives here gets those jobs as a priority.
We'll work with
Okay.
every community group that approaches us.
And
We can
lastly,
stay in touch.
What's happening with the percent program that was
Percent
attached
for
to
art?
this? Yes.
So we are doing a percent for art in this. So we are looking through in the design opportunities for that. We've identified a bunch of them. So there'll be a percent for art. Besides that, Parks has an ongoing public art program that you can do. So within the park itself and in the new plazas and stuff that are going to be created, there's certainly opportunity for art display as well as, periodic inside as well. So we can
So
certainly.
when is that coming back online? Because some of us attended like the first session for narrowing down the artists that were in consideration.
Yep.
So we just want to know when that's coming back online to make sure that we also have the other component, which is the local artists who would get part of that project.
So the design team is going to be doing regular updates with the community to make sure everybody's sort of in the loop as the project progresses. And then when it's completed and Parks takes it over, we'll be sure to engage all the partner groups and so on for those kind of things.
All right, thank you. All right, two people online and then you. So let's go to Christy and then Assemblywoman. Christy Germain, you had a comment, and then Assemblywoman Bashat, and then you. And then I'm going to ask for, after his question, that we need a contact information that's going to go up so people can have that. And also, as well, I have a few questions, but I'll send it to you through email anyway. So you had a question too, but you didn't stand up and I forgot. Sorry. You did. So
The design question really quickly. Now, are you going to use actual grass or is it going to be more of that green fake stuff in the design?
So there's going to be real landscaping around the park. You don't.
A turf.
You don't do synthetic turf for landscaping. That's only for what we call rectangular sports. So there'll be ground cover, there'll be plants, and we'll maintain that. And there's also opportunity for community volunteers and members to enhance that planting as well. It's going to be a beautifully landscaped setting that it's in, also with security lighting and so on. So it'll be a very park-like setting that it's in, and that's one of the beauties of the design here.
That's all the way, yeah.
All right, go ahead. Christy Germain, go ahead.
Yes, good evening. I'm Christy Germain with DDC's Office of Intergovernmental and Community Affairs. And to the first board member that mentioned the comment about MWE and local community residents' participation, this is something that your elected officials have been championing. We have heard it. We will have a robust engagement plan in place. It's still in the works, but we've been working very hard behind the scenes. Just wanted to make sure that you are aware it has been mentioned. We have been working on it. And also, I just wanted to touch base to piggyback on Borough Commissioner Amar's design bill introduction. So this new system will allow us to shave 3 years off of the overall project, as he mentioned, the project timeline, by eliminating one procurement cycle. It also contracts, the awards are based on best value as opposed to the lowest bidder. And then also allowing collaboration between the designer and the contractor from the beginning and from the start, and construction can begin while design is being finalized. And as VP Patrick mentioned, that they have been out there performing soil borings, have been some preliminary work occurring. The week of before Halloween, they did some testing. They did some testing last week, so it's ongoing. And Parks and myself have been coordinating with the school, PS 361, as well as the permit holders to make everyone aware of when the construction team is out there doing the preliminary work.
Thank you. Assemblymember Bashat.
Yes, thank you, Christy, for mentioning that. I wanted to respond to Ms. Martinez. who I believe was the one who asked the question around MWBE. So you are speaking to the chair of the MWBE for the state of New York in the Assembly. I have been pushing for economic equity to make sure that people of color and women get their fair share. And it's been a fight. And I'm going to tell you, racism, sexism is real and it's alive. When Councilmember Farah Lewis fought for this money, she's a Black woman representing a majority Black community, building this recreation center in the name of a Black woman from the Caribbean, Asian. We said over and over that we wanted to make sure that there was majority participation in this project. Something happened and apparently it didn't go as well as what we wished for in terms of making sure that the lead construction team was Black. We wanted a Black, we wanted an MBE to do this. It didn't happen. However, we all came back to the table. We did mention our disappointment because there's no way we're gonna have a Black woman like Councilmember Farah Lewis who fought for the money, fought for this project in a Black neighborhood under the name of Shirley Chisholm, that we're gonna have a white company only leading this. So we did come to the table, and I think everybody recognized these type of dismissal, I would say, and disappointment and disrespect is not gonna happen. And I think people walk back. So now with that, we turned around and there's a big partnership with MBEs as well as women organizations. And as you saw, Talisha, she's one of the sub architects. McKissick is a Black-owned construction firm who's helping lead this project. So I want you to know that our voices are loud and clear, and we are going to move forward to make sure that the people in this community are taking part. I know a number of people who lives in Flatbush Garden who have been trained or who even trained OSHA training, who can participate in helping build. And there's a number of local MWBEs in this area. So we did have a MWBE forum, and I want to thank the partners, DDC and Parks and the city for putting it together. And we could have another one because maybe people didn't know. Now that we're engaging the community boards, we could probably have another one to see what other aspects of the project we can still have some more participation. But I agree with you, it should not be 30%. If it was up to me, it would be 100%. Okay, why? Because 100% was fought for by a Black woman. 100%, or most of 100% is in a Black neighborhood, and the name under Shirley Chisholm is a Black woman. But we're not going to get 100%. Could we get 50%? Yes, we can. And the way we're doing it is we're trying to get as many subcontractors to participate. You're going to see partnership of companies on the fences, MBEs and WBEs. And so I just want to let you know that we are working hard, and I'm very happy to see that the city has turned this project around to open up the doors to participation, because the way it started was not good, but now it's getting good. And I'm very happy about that. And I'm happy that the prime contractors are open and have been open and have partnered with some of these other companies. So please line yourself up, see what we're going to see, what kind of opportunities are out there, but there's a lot, and we want to make sure that each and every one of you are communicating the job opportunities. So, you know, we should be having meetings at Flatbush Gardens and across, you know, across the neighborhood to make sure that we're soliciting and hiring people to work and help build this community recreation center. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator.
All right, wait. So it's been 70 minutes. That's long. I'm going to take your question, all right, but can you please make that question 30 seconds and the answer about the same? Right? So 30 seconds, you're the last question.
Chairperson Watkins of Afrofutures Human Activists. I had a question in regards to, are the jobs going to be union jobs? Also, is the job availability going to reflect in the demographic, the Guyanese, Haitian, and as well as Barbados populations? Are they going to be equally represented in terms of like when minorities are offered jobs? Is it going to be every single one of those groups of minorities that are going to be offered the jobs? Because that affects the percentages a bit differently if each and every nation state or multicultural member is represented, as well as in regards to the art piece project. How are you going to determine the percentage in regards that you allocate to art? Are you going to talk to anybody in terms of marketing or media about like how art does affect people's minds, as well as how it has long-term benefits to the community?
I'm just saying you have about 5 seconds.
That's all.
That's a lot. But maybe you had a question about the roof, but you lost that. Oh, too bad. Yes, sorry. But you can send me an email and I'll follow up with that question about the roof. 30 seconds.
Okay, the art question is a little easier to answer. Percent for art literally means percent for art, 1%.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, of 140 million, 1% is dedicated to the procurement and fabrication and installation of an art piece. That's a process, but that's one thing. In terms of what we're hearing in terms of job participation, Talisha and I are engaged with you. And we initially thought that it would be about the facility and the design, but we're clearly hearing that the issue is access to work. Now, Assemblywoman forgot about me, but I also happen to be an M and a WBE. I happen to have been doing this for 28 years. It is not easy. And you actually need people in the room who actually understand that it's not easy to hear what's not being said and what's not being heard, in order to make sure that there become these channels that get people who are willing and want to work and build trades and use this project as their first stepping stone, in the same way that my first project in this community was my stepping stone to the Weeksville Heritage Center and other projects that you do know, the African Burial Ground National Monument, right? We have to start somewhere, and that's our job. So we will work with McKissick because we're actually in the trenches too.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you so much. I do have some I think you have their contact, right? So, yeah, so make sure that we have the contact. There's some questions I do have to ask you. One of them is around hiring, but I'm going to follow my own advice and not ask any more questions for you not to give an answer. I'm following, according to that, you guys will be back as well, or this is, according to that, it says early spring. So yes, no answer? Early spring, return to community board aligned with PDC. Yes, right?
We have to come back to you.
Yes, okay, so it's a yes. So we'll follow up with that. While I'm here, my Parks and Beautification Chair want to make sure she has a few questions for that as well, because she's texting me and I don't want to miss that. She's online. All right, so thank you guys so much for your presentation.
Thank you.
This is awesome, looking forward to it.
Very much. Nice job.
Okay, so is that Ms. Brown I saw in the back? Ms. Herminia Brown? No? I thought it was her. Okay. I was hoping it was yes, so we can have a quorum. Legislative report. Legislative report. Go ahead. Anybody who's doing legislative report, please form a line so we can go back and forth. And if it's just one, and 1 minute.
Hello, I know everyone is trying to get home. It is late, almost 10 o'clock. That's probably a record. My name is Daniel Heredia. I'm from Councilmember Farah Lewis's office, and I hope you are well, and I thank you all for coming out. I just want to acknowledge the chair, Roderick Daly, and everyone else as part of CB17 for the wonderful celebration we had last Friday in terms of our holiday party. I want to give a special shout out to everybody, all of the partners who helped us rapidly transition to an indoor event, including God Squad, the Flatbush Development Corporation, Elite Learners, and all of the volunteers present that made it happen. Our office would also like to thank CB17 for hosting a community thank you event 2 weeks ago, where we met many of the board members to discuss relevant issues that are going along in the district. Today at City Hall, the council member made significant advances in legislation for those needing accessibility requirements. 2 of the bills that she co-sponsored met the threshold for passing and was voted and will pass go to the mayor's desk to create a database for jobs that will accommodate New Yorkers who are in need of accommodations. This will help many residents in CB17 who have disabilities or need other accommodations.
1 second, guys. I know this is very exciting. But I'm just asking if one can just give him a little bit of attention. So while he finish up a report, right? I know, Chair, I know. Go ahead, finish up.
All right, thank you. So yes, so that was a major legislative initiative that we completed. We also met with a lot of other partners with the board, including DOT, about the other initiatives going on, making sure that community needs are being met. I also want to mention is in regards to rezoning, we, as has been mentioned previously, we are being actively engaged with the part of the process as it pertains to rezoning. We want to remind the board that the Land Use Division of New York City Council needs to be actively engaged with the rezoning work that is taking place and to be involved with any rezoning meetings. But moving forward, we're looking forward to continuing our work in preserving the architectural, cultural integrity of the community board, as long as all relevant parties are involved. I will be here till the end to discuss any aforementioned initiatives and any support needed from our office. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Robertson. 30 seconds, just say hi.
Good late evening to one and all. Woman sends her greetings and wish above all that we stay safe and enjoy the festive season. The members getting ready to go to Albany to represent our constituent and support organizations like the Community Board, local CBOs, churches, Block Association, and the highest level, and we work hard to bring resources back to our community. Our office is located at 903 Utica Avenue, Church Snyder. The office opening hours Monday to Friday, service are done primarily by appointments, but walk-in are also assisted, and again, compliments of the season to one and all. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, as we say. Just enjoy yourself.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Are there anybody online that I?
Yes. Good evening, Mr. Daly. This is Debbie Lewis from Assemblymember Cunningham's office.
Hi, Debbie. How you doing?
Good, thank you. Good evening, everyone. I'll be brief. I know you all want to go. I just want to thank the board for this meeting this evening. It was very informative, and thank you to Assemblymember Rodney Spachat Hermelin and Councilmember Farah Lewis for all the work that you've done alongside this community center that will soon hopefully break ground in the East Flatbush area. Assemblymember Brian Cunningham brings his greetings to you all and wishes you all a safe and happy holiday season and new year. My name is Debbie Lewis. I am the Chief of Staff for Assemblymember Brian Cunningham. Quick legislative updates. They are going back to Albany tomorrow to do a vote, and the legislative session for 2023 officially starts on January 3rd. We did a toy giveaway with Kings County Hospital 2 days ago, gave away 100 toys. We did 3 toy giveaways this past week. And today at 4 p.m. on Flatbush and Church Avenue, we did toy giveaway, coats, and food giveaway. We're also actively working with asylum seekers and giving out coats on a weekly basis. And if anyone has any questions, you can contact our office at 718-771-3105. We are located at 249 Empire Boulevard on the corner of Rogers Avenue. I also want to thank the community for donating coats. Thank you to the God Squad for giving us so many amazing coats. It really made a difference in the community, and we were able to service over 150 asylum seekers. And so I just want to thank you all and have a great night.
Thank you. Any other legislative comments? Any other online? Okay, seeing none. Ms. Stevenson, do you have any report from the Bar President's office?
Hi, Chair. No, I know everybody wants to go. Just wishing everybody,
Sorry, I didn't hear you.
I'm sorry. So, no report. Just wishing everyone happy holidays and a happy new year.
All right, thank you so much. All right, special report board members. I just want to, I see you. First of all, I want to acknowledge Dr. Lewis. Where's she going? Our former board member, Dr. Lewis. Thank you for coming out. I appreciate it. Come out more often and rejoin the board. Just thought I'd say, all right. Special, you have some comments. When it said community session, that's where you guys are supposed to speak. Yes, go ahead. I think it's on.
Yeah.
Is it on?
No.
Knock it again? Yes, it's on.
Okay. Yeah, actually, we came from the mosque. We have serious problem actually, and the police is not taking. We have serious problem regarding the mosque and the businesses. We have like some gangs. They selling some weed and drugs and some shooting there and stopping. Yeah, hello. I'm sorry. Actually, I'm a member of the mosque in 64 in East 98th Street by Sorer Avenue. We have serious problems since last year is under the subway stations, some gangs and some people, youth, they selling drugs and marijuana, and they do sometimes shooting happen there and they stop in, and people even scared to walk from, to go to the subway, by the subway, and to go to the mosque and to go to the businesses. We are suffering. East 98th and Sorer Avenue. You did speak in the beginning, yeah, but honestly, the police didn't take it seriously. We've been talking to them. We've been in the precinct last, and we went to the councilor office, and now we want to take it further and see what, because they never, these people is selling in front of everybody all type of drugs and dealings, and they have guns on them, and police not even, honestly, it is serious matter. I can show you the video, the shooting.
I would actually appreciate that video as well. We did speak about that earlier tonight in the meeting with the officers. I will follow up. If you're going to send me an email, just get my email from our district manager, and we'll follow up with the precinct as well. All right, thank you. Any other new business? Unfinished business. I said it backwards, but that's fine. All right, with that being said, can I get a motion to adjourn? All right, everyone, please enjoy your holidays. Thank you, everybody online, for joining us, and looking forward to hearing more from you. Thank you. Derek.
Good night, Rudy.
Yes, somebody saying something online.
Yes, good night, Rudy.
All right, the meeting is adjourned. We start adjourned.